Well, we think they're looking for a striker, don't we, Michael? What's the latest on their pursuit of Julian Alvarez?
Well, I think there's obviously clear interest, but what's the story over the last summer has really been interest from Barcelona, and Atletico are just not keen to sell to Barcelona one bit. I mean, I was in Atletico Stadium in March for the covering for Sky Sports News, the game against Tottenham, and that is a loud stadium, like really compact stadium. I loved it. It was really, but then his name comes across on Sunday, Julian Alvarez, and the booing, and then you see him on the bench, and he's thinking, oh my goodness, really? Ouch! And then at the end of the game, I think someone from Atletico spoke in his ear. Yeah. It's best you don't join the squad and thank the fans. Just go straight down the tunnel. So that doesn't look great for him. So if it isn't Barcelona, you just wonder, can he stay? And then if he does join Arsenal, wow, I mean, they look absolutely complete to me.
Yeah, but there's a reason why Atletico don't want to sell him to Barcelona, direct rival. I mean, he shares the same agent as Hansi Flick, who is Barcelona's head coach manager. And I think Atletico have said, if you want to go abroad somewhere and they bring the money in, and again, we're talking about a lot of money, around 140, 150 million for Julian Alvarez, then no problem. Barcelona is a no-go, but there might be other option. I've got no sympathy for Alvarez at all. I think the way he's made this summer is just, he gets what he deserves from those fans. They spent a lot of money buying him 2 years ago from Manchester City. They gave him a 6-year deal. He's on a lot of money already, and because he just wants to go to Barcelona and he's insistent on that deal and no other move, I just find it that it's exactly what he deserves.
Would he suit the Premier League? Would he suit any league?
He's played here before with City, and we saw he left because he was not happy by not.
We didn't see as much of him because Haaland was ahead of him.
Yeah, exactly, and he was not happy by the lack of game time.
Will he come back a better player?
I think there will always be a question mark over some of the numbers and certainly some of his efficiency, which I can understand. Is he really a number 9? Is he a great finisher? I'm not so sure, but he brings you so much else in terms of the work rate again, the press and the counter press. I think he will fit what Mikel Arteta is doing at Arsenal so well. Absolutely, there's no doubt. And I think Arsenal are ready. If Julian Alvarez opens the door to a move back to the Premier League and to Arsenal, I think they're there, ready. Andrea Berta, the Arsenal sporting director, is obviously a former Atletico Madrid sporting director. He knows that club so well. He knows everybody at that club. He knows very well Julian Alvarez is his agent too. So this is a possibility. But right now, it looks like Alvarez doesn't want to come back to England.
Marmoush, Leao, Gakpo, Alvarez. It's the transfer window of can play on the left and up front window.
Yeah. Well, Kenan Yildiz has also been linked with a move to Arsenal. Do they need to strengthen that position if they're going to compete on all fronts? I mean, they're favourites for the Premier League, but if they want to win the other big one, the Champions League, do they need another striker?
I think the idea, certainly with Yildiz, is more on that left-hand side, the left wing, where they've looked at a lot of other options. Solis has arrived and has been really good, looking good already. But if Martinelli goes, and we expect him to go to Saudi Arabia this week, then again, it's one out in Trossard, one in Solis, one out in Martinelli, one in, without a doubt, for a club like Arsenal. And it's where you look. Barcola, again, is very expensive. We mentioned that, probably too much. Kenan Yildiz was one that they were linked with. I think there was a lot of things to like from a Yildiz point of view. And again, his profile and how much he would suit this team. So I think they will look again at that position if or when Martinelli goes. But with the Yildiz injury at the weekend, and again, I'm not sure they were too convinced by him, so let's see.
Okay, and Michael, in terms of players leaving the Emirates, who could go?
Yeah, Gary Martinelli, as Jules was mentioning there, I think if they can persuade him to go, I think Arsenal will sanction that. I mean, he's done great for Arsenal over the years, but if Al Hilal and Arsenal can agree a fee, which would be around like the £50 million mark, then Arsenal will obviously look to bring someone in, but they look very strong, very, very strong.
And let's hope we can do it again this year. To do it again this year, we've got to strengthen. One of the players we're looking to strengthen with is Julian Alvarez. It goes on, the saga continues. Welcome along to Alvarez Daily, as it's turned into the biggest story now as we go into the end of the transfer window, because it will probably end up being the biggest sale of the transfer window. Reports saying that Arsenal and Atletico have already sat down and agreed a fee of £128 million. It's a lot of money. Will make him the most expensive player in the Premier League if it happens. But will it happen? There was reportedly an emergency meeting held yesterday by Atletico to discuss the future of Julian Alvarez. Now, it's interesting because there's been reports coming out of Spain that even some of the players now would like to see him sold. You know, half of the dressing room are very uncomfortable with the situation that's going on. You know, it can't be easy. You're going onto pitches and your own players getting booed. And the other half would like to see him stay. After, you know, this meeting, it's still a bit of an impasse at Atletico Madrid because the reports are is that Diego Simeone, the manager, is open to him going. You know, he's saying, listen, if he wants to go, let him leave, let's get a replacement in, let's move on. But the CEO, Miguel Gil Marin, is determined to keep him at all costs. Or if he doesn't stay, sell him to Arsenal, not to Barcelona. So this one is not moving at the moment. It's still, you know, in a really bad position when it comes to the player, when it comes to the club. There needs to be, you know, a resolution, and we will get that resolution between now and the 1st of September when the transfer window closes. Where will he end up? Staying, Barcelona or Arsenal? It's one of the three. And this is so intriguing. And I'm sorry, we are going to be talking about it literally every day until there's a definitive decision. So every day we're going to be on this one. Every single day we're going to be on this one. I can tell you that. What about Victor Gyökeres? Because there's lots of rumours surrounding Victor Gyökeres as well. According to Sami Mokbel of the BBC, he says that Barcelona are interested in Victor Gyökeres. We've heard this rumour quite a few times. Last week there was a journalist over there in Spain saying that, you know, Gyökeres is contacting Barcelona every day. I don't think that's the case, but definitely in the case of Barcelona, they need a striker. That's why they want Alvarez. Robert Lewandowski has left. They want Alvarez. They know how tricky and how difficult to get Alvarez, you know, how it's going to be. And they're turning their attentions to other targets. And one of those other targets is Victor Gyökeres. And as we've seen, Gyökeres has been left out of Arsenal's team on the weekend. He only played 15 minutes in the Community Shield. It does start to look like he could be sold by Arsenal. There's been talk that he could go with a swap deal to Atletico. I've spoken about that many times on the show. But Barcelona said to be very, very interested in him. And according to reports in Spain, he is very open to a move to Barcelona. Why wouldn't you be if you're going to be possibly leaving Arsenal? So one to watch that one, Victor Gyökeres.